Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed Shlita. Well, here we are on Yom Chamishi as we make it through the week and we continue our learning. Thank you for joining us. Please continue davening for Chalei Tzva Gan Yisrael, for Shalom B'chol B'tzvah Yisrael, safety of our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael. We learn Nishmat and Daniel Shimon Ben Harav Daron V'Shel Shem Kam Demo. Before I begin, I just have a exciting little tidbit here. And it's only exciting for me, but I wanted to share it with you, just to give you an idea of where we are. So we are today, I'm just looking, this is episode overall 687. 687. And the way it works is I have a little unit which I record and processes the recordings, and the information is then saved on a very small but powerful storage unit. So I have a 128 gigabyte storage card, and then that I just transfer to my computer and I do the editing, etc., etc., etc. So why am I telling this? Because now I just started today my third card. So I have two 128 gigabyte cards which are filled, so 686 episodes. It's just mind-boggling if you just think about it, that years ago if I would tell you how much audio I could put, if I'm telling you what hundreds of hours of audio on a little card, to be like, what are you talking about? But now I just, in the palm of my hand, I have two of these, and they're marked already since 2022 or something like that. Whatever the year is, I have the dates written and the episode numbers. So that's, for me, again, I'm just geeking out over it because it's a funny thing. But anyway, let's learn. Basar v'yayin. Noaga Rishonim lihimonam achilis basar v'shtiyas yayin mehavelos halachorban. So the Rishonim had the custom already, again, in the middle portion of the time of the Rishonim, medieval ages, whatever you want to call them, that they would refrain from eating meat or drinking wine during the days of mourning on the Beis HaMikdash. Some were strict even all the weekdays of the 3 weeks. And some were strict only in the week in which Tisha B'Av falls. According to most Rishonim, the refraining from meat and wine takes place during the 9 days. Even though according to the Mishnah and Tainus and Daf Chavav and Beis, which we have mentioned, so the Mishnah states, "Rak b'studam apsekes shelifnei tzom Tisha B'Av asur lechol basar v'lishtos yayin." That technically speaking, only in the meal which precedes the fast day, the preparatory meal, or the last meal before the fast begins, at that meal it's forbidden to eat meat and drink wine. That's midin. Noaga rishonim lahachmir alatzam lihimonam achilas basar v'shtiyas yayin b'yamim elu. But the Rishonim were more strict, and then they further restricted themselves from eating meat and drinking wine in the aforementioned days. Why? Because wine and meat are known to be foods that bring simcha. And as we mentioned yesterday, that when we enter the month of Av, we decrease our levels of simcha. And furthermore, that since the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash, we no longer have meat, which is brought on the Mizbeach as part of the Karbanos, and they certainly have no libations that are done with wine. So ideally, since we have no more karbanos and we can't do the libations and we can't have meat on the offerings, so we should never have meat, we should never have wine as long as the Beis HaMikdash is not rebuilt. However, this would be too much for people to take. This is what's called takana sharov hatzibur eini cholam lamod bo. This is a type of institution which most people could not stand by. However, days that are set aside specifically for mourning over the Beis HaMikdash, so we can be stringent. Lamaisa, so practically speaking, what do we do? Minhag yotzei Ashkenaz lo lechol basar lishtos yain kol tishas yamim. Ashkenazim do not eat meat and drink wine for the 9 days. Kolol Rosh Chodesh Av, which includes Rosh Chodesh Av, v'chein noag ari, and this is the minhag of the Arizal. Leminhag rov yotzei Sfardim, most Sephardim, mutar lechol basar lishtos yain b'Rosh Chodesh, they allow you to eat meat and drink wine on Rosh Chodesh, u'mitchilas leil beis ba'av meschel ha'yisr, and they stop eating, or they begin the prohibition already from the beginning of the night of the second. And Yemenites are not machmir in this at all. They eat meat, they drink wine, but they follow technically like the Mishnah, where they only refrain from meat and wine and the meal preceding the fast. You'll find also many Sephardim will hold what's called Shvua Shechal Bo Tisha B'Av. They maybe only are strict, or they restrict themselves from meat and wine in the week in which Tisha B'Av falls. But we have different customs. So we're going to see next time, Eretz Hashem, perhaps more the particulars of meat and wine as going forward. But right now, let's continue davening for Chayalei Tzvah Yisrael, for Shalom Chofetz Israel. Safety of brothers and sisters in Israel. Thank you so much for joining us as we begin a new Memories Day. Have a great day, and we'll see you here next time.